Cardinal Burke has issued a very harsh warning to the entire Church, precisely on the anniversary of Fatima. He spoke of betrayal, of lies, of a message that Rome has ignored for over a century. And behind his words lies something even greater, something few have the courage to speak out loud. Stay with us until the end. In the silence of a church that seems no longer able to speak, a solitary voice has risen forcefully, that of Cardinal Raymond Burke. During the Mass, to commemorate the apparition of July 13th at Fatima, in a half-empty sanctuary, yet filled with invisible presences, Burke launched a warning that no one in the Vatican dares even whisper. The Church is experiencing a practical apostasy, a concrete distancing from a Christ that generates only violence, lies, and death. If you appreciate our outreach service and believe in the values of truth and transparency, please purchase a super thank you. Each piece of content requires commitment, study, and dedication, and our work is entirely self-funded. Your support helps us continue this mission. Thank you so much. His words pierced the air like a thunderclap, accusing many men of the Church of leading lives that contradict the truth of the faith and of bowing to the culture of lies and confusion. But this is just the beginning. Those who were there say the Cardinal also touched on other thorny issues, suggesting that the message of Fatima and its tragic relevance encompasses much more than the official accounts suggest. His allusions, veiled but unambiguous to those who know how to read between the lines, have left many uneasy and eager to know to what extent the Vatican has betrayed the heart of the Marian message. His speech was not a simple devotional homily, but an indictment of a church that, under Pope Leo XV, seems increasingly determined to ignore Fatima so as not to disturb the world. What is most striking about last Sunday's scene is not only the gravity of Cardinal Burke's words, but the deafening silence of everyone else. While he, alone at the altar, spoke of the confusion, lies, and violence that had even entered the sacristies, no bishop or prelate of weight showed up. An image that well describes the state of the Church today. An elderly cardinal, isolated and in the minority, who dares to tell the truth in front of a lost people, and a hierarchy that pretends not to hear. During his homily, Burke did not simply describe apostasy as an abstract idea. He pointed the finger at those in the Church who, while not professing explicit heresies, reject in practice the truth and love that flow from the pierced heart of Christ through the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Precise words that spare no one. Bishops, priests, religious, and even committed lay people who preach tolerance but live contradictory lives, immersed in the logic of contemporary culture. At that New Jersey shrine, Burke reminded those present, and perhaps especially those absent, that Fatima is not a fairy tale for pious women, but a terrible warning to the Church and the world. Another unresolved issue that emerged on the sidelines of the celebration is that of the third secret of Fatima, which continues to cause discussion and division even among men of the Church. In his homily, Burke did not mention it directly, but his long history of interventions on the topic and the context of the event itself brought attention to this dark chapter. According to the official version, the third secret was revealed in its entirety in 2000, when Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, then prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, published a text describing an apocalyptic vision. A pope walking among the ruins, killed together with bishops, priests, and faithful. A dramatic scene, but interpreted by Rome as symbolic, referring to the persecution of the Church in the 20th century and the attack on John Paul II. However, many scholars and prelates immediately contested this interpretation, arguing that the revelation was only a part of the secret, or that a crucial fragment was missing. Among the most well-known doubters was Father Ingo Dollinger, a personal friend of Ratzinger, who publicly declared that he had learned from him that there was more than what was published. Dollinger said that the missing part explicitly spoke of a bad council and a bad mass that would affect the Church in the near future. The Vatican, at the time, responded with an official statement categorically denying this version, reiterating that the secret had been revealed in its entirety. But the doubt has never completely disappeared. The question remains open. Several bishops and scholars continue to maintain that the third secret contains specific words on the doctrinal and liturgical crisis that overwhelmed the Church after the Council, and that for fear of scandal or division, it has never been made public in its entirety. In light of Cardinal BURKE's words and consistency on these issues, it is not difficult to read his insistence on the message of Fatima as an invitation to face not only what has been said, but also what has been left unsaid. Another crucial point of the message of Fatima, to which Cardinal BURKE has often referred over the years, is the consecration of Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Our Lady expressly asked the Pope, together with all the bishops, to consecrate Russia, promising her conversion and a time of peace. In the last century, various pontiffs have performed similar acts, but never in the manner indicated. Pius XII consecrated the world in general terms. John Paul II, in 1984, avoided mentioning Russia so as not to disturb the political balance. Pope Francis, in 2022, included Russia and Ukraine in a prayer of consecration, but without stating that it was the fulfillment of the request of Fatima. Burke, for his part, clearly stated that it is evident that the consecration was not carried out in the way requested by Our Lady, underlining the need for an explicit act carried out in union with all the bishops. In light of these shortcomings, many believers and observers wonder whether Pope Leo XIV will finally fulfill the act awaited for over a century, pronouncing the exact words and calling the bishops of the world to join him. Or if his pontificate, like those of his predecessors, will be limited to half measures and silence, leaving unfulfilled the promise of peace announced at Fatima. What do you think? If you liked the video, comment, Amen. God bless you.